Hi friends, in the last video you saw how the power is delivered from the power generation plant to our data center premises. In this video we will talk about how the power is transferred from the local substation which is located in our DC premises to the racks in the server room where the servers or the assets are located. So let's start. First, I will take you through the devices from which the power passes when it travels from the local substation to the server racks. The first device is the local substation, where 415 volt of electricity, that is 3-phase power, is delivered from the power grid. After substation, there are 3 devices in between. Those are ATS switch, also called as automatic transfer switch, UPS, also called as uninterrupted power supply, and the data center PDU. And the last one is the rack PDU, and this is the rack where your servers are installed. Now I will show you the flow of power. From substation, the power flows to the ATS. ATS will simply pass it to the UPS. UPS will make sure that the stable, uninterrupted power is transferred to the DC PDU. DC PDU will further distribute it to multiple racks. Now assume that there is a grid failure. Then the entire electric supply to our data center will stop. In this scenario, the sensing circuit will detect and it will start the generator, which will then start generating the power. Both the power sources, that is the grid and the generator, are going through a panel which is called as ATS switch. This switch will take the power either from the grid or from the emergency source. Now before moving further, I just wanted to tell you that other items such as distribution boards are not shown or explained in this video just for the simplicity of our understanding. Now let's talk about ATS, that is automatic transfer switch. ATS is an electrical switch that switches the load between two sources. Which are those two sources? Local substation and the generator. ATS is also called as break before make switch. What does this mean? This means that ATS will always have a small break when the power is redirected from one source to other. This actually means that there is no power for short amount of time. That is, after the power grid fails and before the generator takes over, there is no power for that particular duration. But this is not a problem as the UPS will take care of it. The UPS uses its battery when there is a power loss due to the switchover, and therefore the IT load and the server rooms are still protected. Till now, whatever we were talking about was the AC power, that is the alternating power. But before talking more about UPS, first let's understand what a DC power is. Okay, what does DC stands for? DC stands for the direct current. A power that is supplied from the batteries is called as a DC power. Let's see this with the help of a circuit diagram. The circuit consists of a battery, let's say a 10 volt or 9 volt battery with a positive polarity at one side and a negative polarity at the other end. Apart from the battery, you can also see a resistance, or instead you can assume it as a bulb or any other workload. As you just saw, the current flows from the positive terminal to the workload, and from that workload again it flows back to the negative terminal of the battery. If we happen to plot a graph, then you will get something like this. Did you understand what it means? It means that if you measure a voltage after 1 hour, then you will get it as 10 volt. If you again measure it after 2 hours, then you will get it again as 10 volt. Thus, the two important points to note here are the supply is always constant and the current doesn't change its direction. Now let's see the alternating power. In this circuit, you can see the battery is now replaced with the AC power, in which the polarity and the magnitude changes. Rest everything is the same. In this diagram, the current will flow from the positive to negative direction similarly to what we saw in the DC current. But after some time, the polarity of the power changes. What it means? It means that the direction of the current will also change. Now, if we happen to plot a graph of AC, you will get something like this. As I mentioned, in AC, the polarity changes and the magnitude also changes. That's the reason in the first cycle, the current rises in the positive direction till it reaches its positive peak, and then it starts decreasing. When the polarity reverses, the current rises in the negative direction till it reaches its negative peak, and then it starts decreasing. As you saw, in AC, the current changes its direction and also the voltage changes its polarity and the magnitude. Now that you know both the AC and DC, let's talk about UPS, that is uninterrupted power supply. A UPS is a device that allows servers to keep running for some time when one power source is lost. As we saw earlier, when the ATS switch switches power between the substation and the generator, the UPS will keep that power running. Now you tell me, where according to you the UPS must be storing its standby power? It stores it in the battery. In the left, you can see a diagram of UPS. Output of ATS switch, which is nothing but an AC power, is an input to the UPS. UPS will convert the AC power to the DC power using a rectifier. The DC power is then used to charge the battery. In case of power failure, the DC power is converted back to AC power using an inverter, which is then further supplied to the data center PDU. Apart from acting as a battery backup, UPS has an important role of suppressing the power in case of the power surge. When the power surge occurs, UPS intercepts the surge so that the surge doesn't damage the servers or the assets which are installed in the server room. The UPS power is then transferred to the DC PDU. Till now, the AC power that we were talking about was three-phase power. But before talking about data center PDU, you should now understand what is single phase and three-phase power. First, let's talk about single phase power. Remember one rule: electricity will always flow back to its source. Okay? We have seen this circuit earlier. The path in the circuit from where the current flows from the positive terminal to the bulb is called as a live wire, and the path from where the current flows back from the bulb to the negative terminal is called as neutral path. If you remember the graph of the AC wave, it is like a sinusoidal wave. What it means is that the current rises from its zero to its positive peak, then back to zero and to its negative peak. Thus, there is always a flickering that is happening in a bulb. However, you don't feel that flickering since that flickering is happening at a very fast pace. Now, in case there is some issue in the connection and the live wire gets connected somewhere, let's say to the casing of the bulb, then the bulb casing might burn out. But to avoid that, the current, instead of flowing through a neutral wire, it will flow back to its source using the third wire, which is called as the ground wire. Single phase sockets looks like this. It has 3 pins. One is for live, another is for neutral, and the third one is for the ground one. Now that you have seen single phase supply, 3 phase supply is very similar, but instead of one live wire, it has got 3 live wires. Graph of 3 phase looks like what you can see on the left hand side, and the socket looks what is shown below. 3 pins for live wires and 2 pins, one for neutral and another for ground. Now that you have understood what a single phase power is, let me tell you that most of the assets or the servers in the data center operate on single phase. But whatever power we have received so far, that is from the UPS, is 3 phase. Thus, it is very important that we convert the 3 phase power to a single phase power. By now, you must have guessed the conversion of 3 phase to single phase power is done inside the data center PDU. The DC PDU, it has got another job. It will also distribute the power across multiple server racks in the data center. Now that you have understood all the devices, let's talk about redundancy. But before that, let me cover one small component that I had missed, which is rack PDU. You can see the picture of the PDU strip near the rack in the bottom right of this slide. Rack PDU is nothing but a power strip to which you can connect multiple sockets, to which you can connect multiple servers. Rack PDUs can be connected vertically or horizontally. Rack PDUs come in many variants like 32 amperes, 16 amperes, 8-pin socket, 16-pin socket, European socket, Indian socket, so on and so forth. Now it's the time to talk about redundancy. So tell me, what is redundancy? Redundancy means if one fails, then you have something to fall back or something to rely on. So do you think we have maintained the redundancy in this diagram? No. So let's build the redundant power infrastructure. Where is the server connected? The servers are connected inside the rack. The server these days generally comes with dual power supply. One power supply is connected to one rack PDU and another is connected to the secondary rack PDU. Now that we have added the secondary PDU, but the DC PDU, that is the data center PDU, is now the single point of failure. So what to do? Let's add one more DC PDU. The second DC PDU will supply power to the second rack PDU. Always it's better to add one more UPS. Now the second UPS will supply the power to the second DC PDU. Now it's becoming simpler. Start building redundant infrastructure. Add one more ATS switch. The second ATS switch will supply to the secondary UPS. Now you have made your ATS, UPS, DC PDU and a rack PDU redundant. But can you make your power grid redundant? Yes, you can take the power from two different power grids. And finally, you can add another DG set to make your DC completely redundant. I hope you have enjoyed this video. See you in next lecture. Thank you.